Hello everybody, welcome to the third of my Wieniawski tutorials where I'm covering the L'Ecole Moderne by Henryk Wieniawski. Okay, so hope you've done alright with the first two. This one is called l'étude. Well, in French, an étude just means a study. What's it to study of? Well, I mean, like, your first glance at this script is, you might think it's absolutely horrendous because it's mostly written in double stops. What a double stop means, that means you're just playing two notes at the same time. But what he's actually getting at in this study is thirds and sixths, and the actual relationship between them, and how you can actually use them in your playing to just make it a bit more interesting. Now, okay, so today I'm playing this 6-string Jackson. I've rolled the volume off, got a little bit of drive in there, but you might just want to set your amp up with a little bit of crunch in it. So it's like that, little bit of delay and reverb, not too much, so it's not swimming in reverb, but just enough so you can hear it. And the actual, now I mean, how it's written, he's playing it here, but I'm going to play it on the top strings, and so it's kind of based on this kind of thing. And then it goes on. But what I thought we could look at today is the relationships between thirds and sixths. Now, this is going to, if you don't have much music theory, a lot of this is going to sound like gibberish to begin with. Maybe it sounds like gibberish anyway. Sorry about that. But I'm going to try and explain. You know what because there's a very good relationship, and I'll get onto that. So if we start, say, basic sort of G barred chord like this. Now you probably learned that early on, right? It's a G major chord. Great. Take this finger off. G minor. So the difference between right. Well, what is that? Well, if we play a G major scale, right, 1, 2, 3. So I should know that the third note from G is B. Now in the G minor scale, as you might expect, the note is B flat. So there's a little exercise, something you might want to try just to get familiar with this. If that's a stretch, do it like this. That might be easier for you, but for me, I mean, I can do that because then as I said before, it's just to do with the size of my hands. I can do that. But if it's a stretch, I don't want you hurting yourself. So yeah. So if you can try doing something like that on all the strings, then you should have an idea about what those intervals should sound like. Now the thing about a third is its inversion. What does an inversion mean? Well, I'll explain that. If I play this now, if I was to play that note an octave below, Then, so I mean I could play that. So that, so so that phrase, I can play that in 6. I can put the 6 here, the roots here, and then it almost becomes natural that you want to start doing this chicken picking stuff from from the country stuff. Now that might be a bit new to you as well. Take the reverb off for a moment, then it gets a bit more. Now, here's a question. You might not have thought about that. Why can I play that chromatic bit? Why can I play that and it still sounds fine? Why can I play those chromatic thirds? Well, it's a similar reasoning behind in the blues scale. I mean, standard pentatonic scale, like that, but quite often you put this flat 5 in here. Now, if I play that phrase over the top, yeah, then that all I'm doing, I'm just sitting that phrase onto that pentatonic scale. Now you might not have thought there'd be a relationship between Wieniawski writing classical music and somebody writing blues or country music, but there is. So it's going to be very brief today, but to begin with, I mean, before getting involved in this, because it is quite an advanced etude, I just wanted to pick those points out, and I think I think we could actually learn a lot. I mean, one of the other things as well, I mean, like when you're learning thirds, I mean, quite often you might just either on a YouTube video or teach them, you might just end up just blasting through these. Well, great, but so what? I mean, because you're not listening to the actual intervals. I mean, yeah. So what I want you to do is to just work on playing those intervallic. Well, I mean, I suppose you could call them intervallic scales if you like. Playing those across the strings this way. If you get lost, then play them across the boxes by all means. That's fine. I mean, like, and then a 6-1. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, you could do that if you want, but I think when you're actually playing, I mean, say you're in the middle of a quite a frantic solo. then it means you can just drop into those thirds and sixths, and it gives you a bit more breathing time, and makes the solos a bit more interesting, because you know you're leaping into a particular interval, and then that then opens up some options about where you want to go from there. So I think that's it for today. I'll see you next time. Thanks very much.